The starting grid with the front row made up of this is, of course, is in order of fastest laps, and look at the pace of Josh Brooks, clearly the fastest. He's on pole position ahead of Luke Mossey and Peter Hickman. The second row is headed by Danny Booker. I don't know whether he's trying to tell us something, Big Danny, because he's kept his very scuffed leathers on. Tommy Bridewell is in 5th place. Shaky Byrne advances to 6th. 7th place in the grid goes to Richard Cooper on the build-based BMW, ahead of rostrum finisher Billy McConnell, with Michael Laverty in 9th place on the Tyco BMW. And then row 4, Lee Jackson, James Westland, and I asked Christian Eden, what row are we standing on? He said, oh, I've no idea, mate. If you have to start counting them, it doesn't matter. He's on the outside of row 4 on the Halsell Racing Bennett Suzuki. Danny Buchan looked really strong in the first race until the tall Essex man launched his bike down the road. The lights go out. The second of the MC Insurance Pretty Superbike races is on. And a brilliant start once again by Josh Brooks as he surges through Coppice. Byrne through to 4th place. Byrne nips through into 4th place, gets the better of both Buchan and Bridewell. So a bright start for the champion, the current champion on the PBM Kawasaki. Brooks then, Milwaukee Yamaha leads the way. 2nd place, Luke Mossey on Kawasaki. 3rd place behind those, that gag is Peter Hickman, and then we've got Byrne, Buchan and Bridewell. Yeah. All the bees together.
Bridewell dived under Buchan initially as soon as the brakes popped it out of the screen into Park Corner, so he's now in 5th in front of Buchan. Easy to get nabbed early on in a race. He's trying to keep out of trouble because it is easy to get into trouble. It's easy to get nabbed.
Dropping down the hill and into the left-hander at Mansfield. And as they jaunt down the hill and through this snappy right chicane. That is where Martin Jessup actually, he took the front so badly, James, he ended up across on the tarmac into turn 1. We saw him turning round on the grass, but he'd been properly off the track, and that obviously well and truly messed up his race. He was running top 10 at the time. Yeah. Josh Brooks leads the way, looking for 6 consecutive race wins.
Yeah, Mossey's made the start he wanted. I felt really quite sorry for Mossey in race 1. Luke had run really strong, looked not safe in 2nd because of the being packed behind him, but certainly looked like he had the pace early on of Brooks and everybody else, and it's so difficult to make a pass. You can't really blame Billy McConnell for being harsh with him. It's always a harsh pass around here, and this is getting tight, isn't it?
Although it is Bridewell with Danny Buchan and Richard Cooper. Little Richard Cooper was just peeping underneath Danny Buchan then, and he's got him. Yeah. What a move on the build-based BMW by the little Nottinghamshireman, newly arrived, of course, in that garage.
And again, that was not a mistake by Buchan, but certainly just been a little bit too cautious, and that allowed Cooper past in a place that is really difficult to pass.
And that means that as we look down on the 4th place man, the 4th place man, Shaky Byrne, behind him, Tommy Bridewell twitching, James, as he flicked from right to left through the gooseneck. That can't feel comfortable.
It's not. It looked quite open, the suspension. It didn't look to have much by way of damping, but it's a real compromise around here on suspension. You need a setting that gives you the grip and the steering you need, but also you need the settings that actually give you quite an easy time. You need to feel confident, feel a bit of movement from the bike, feel a bit of movement from the suspension. Because if you've got a bike that's really totally set up, that suits a real fast-flowing, grippy circuit, well, you're not going to do so well here. It's going to feel too harsh.
Well, Tommy did spend a lot of time talking when interviewed after race 1 by the lads of being uncomfortable on the BMW at the moment.
It's about getting comfortable around here, whatever that is.
So on the 2nd of 18 laps then, Josh Brooks already 0.72 of a second ahead of Mossey, Hickman, Byrne, Bridewell, Laverty 6th, Cooper 7th, McConnell right behind him. Buchan squeezed back to 9th just ahead of Iden, Westphal and 11th, Linfoot in 12th. Jack Kennedy, incidentally, who's used an fastest lap now for Tommy Bridewell at 1:27.446, possibly his fastest lap of the weekend. Just having just talked about him feeling uncomfortable on the Tyco BMW. Special mention for Jack Kennedy is he's used an awful lot of upper body strength in the race 1, James, because he scarcely can put any weight on that injured left leg.
Yeah, what people don't realise is that these bikes, these riders do a lot of steering with the feet and the legs and putting weight through the footrests at various points in and out of a corner, and if you can't do that, you've got to do it all with your upper body and counter steering, and it's not as quick to do that, and it's also very tiring.
Just as in race 1, James, Luke Mossey seems comfortably able to run with Josh Brooks, especially through that furthest end of the circuit.
Yeah, he definitely looks happier on the upper part of the circuit, Park Straight, out of Charlie's 2, Park Straight, Park Corner, and then the Chris's section. And it is quite flowy, that section. The change of direction is really fast, you know, instead of the little flick-flack chicane down the bottom here. And this is the woodland section, completely different nature. Under the trees, it's kind of nudgery and it's tight, and there's less chance to overtake in that section.
So is that wonderful? The ground beneath is almost shaking as the pack rolls down the straight into Coppice and then round the double right-hander here at Charlie. Shaky Bird being pressed by Tommy Bridewell. Michael Laverty also very much in attendance. There's number 46, Bridewell, getting the BMW lined up behind, alongside, and almost in front of the reigning champion. Oh, he squeezes him to the white line. Shaky Bird has to sensibly back off there and allow Bridewell through.
You say he had to sensibly back off. It took a long time to do that. It really gave Tommy a hard time there, quite rightly.
So Bridewell is through to 4th place. Byrne back to 5th.
Tommy Bridewell's actually one of the fastest men on track. His fastest lap is every bit as quick as the laps done by Brooks earlier. Actually, fastest man on track last lap was Laverty.
Well, Tommy did say they were going to make some alteration to that Tyco BMW for race 2, James. Perhaps they'd properly work.
He said he was going to make some alterations. Didn't actually know what that was going to be. There's your fastest man at the minute, number 7. On the second of the Tyco BMWs, that's Michael Laverty.
And James, the Tyco BMWs, they're just, as a team, they're doing exactly what they need to do to be in the showdown. If they just keep accumulating points like this, there's no chance of the guys outside the top 600 getting up with them. Yeah,
Michael Laverty's been like that all year. He's just been chipping away, not really getting any headlines or even getting talked about that much, but getting the results, not the wins, but 4th and 5th and 6th, and getting them every weekend, more importantly.
As he put it to me, I'm missing 2 tenths still. Well, he doesn't get perturbed about it, as Tommy Bridewell sets another fastest lap at 27.2, edging in on that fastest lap of Josh Brooks in race 1. Brooks' fastest so far is a 1:27.31, so just almost a tenth underneath for Bridewell. Behind Michael Laverty, that second wave is led by Richard Cooper from Billy McConnell, Danny Buck and Christian Iden. That rounds out the top 10.
Now, Peter Aikman's looking quite keen to get past Luke Mossey. Wanting to get past and actually getting past Ant Cadwell's 2 different things completely. But certainly I think he thinks he's got the pace to go with Brooks if he can get past Mossey.
Oh! Yeah, James, the way Brooks lands that so elegantly and lightly lands that Yamaha.
It's brilliant, but it actually doesn't gain him much. You know, yard, if that. It is impressive.
Well, somehow he makes that yard count, because by the time he comes out of barn, he's pulled it up to half a dozen bike lengths.
No, he didn't actually gain that over maybe a little bit at the top of between the top of the mountain and the Hall Bends.
Fastest man on track, Shaky Byrne, that lap, 1:27.36 for the reigning champion. Here's the second wave of half a dozen riders, featuring Cooper, McConnell, Buchan, Eden, Westphal and Linfoot, Lee Bob Jackson just off the back of that group. Local lad, of course, from Lincoln. Jack Kennedy still in the points, wincing with pain, I've no doubt, an aching upper body for the Dubliner. He's 14th, Martin Jessup on track in 15th place on the Riders' Motorcycles BMW, ahead of Hopkins, Main wearing smart, and the man who's running his 299th British Superbike race, Chris Walker. Oh, look at that move by Eden. Gets the power down early, coming out of the right-hander at Chris Curve. Yeah. What a move inside Danny Buchan that was.
Yeah, in actual fact, Danny Buchan, I reckon, is suffering from that crash at the top of the mountain. He certainly isn't riding with as much abandon or aggression or speed, in fact, as he did in race 1, or all the way through practice as well.
So this is the second bunch, Richard Cooper, the pint-sized man from Nottingham who still drives a van delivering parts and bikes for Pidcock's Motorcycles. Number 47 leads that line of riders. He's running 7th. So this is a battle for good points here.
Yeah, Cooper, after his rostrum down there at Brands Hatch a couple of rounds ago, he said a brilliant thing in his post-race. He said that he's not doing this for the money. he's doing it because he loves his racing and he wants the results. He says the money is a secondary thing for me. And I like that. You know, he drives his van during the week and then does this on a weekend. It's, yeah, good.
There's the second place battle as Josh Brooks has now tugged out himself a bit of an advantage of a second, just over a second now. And Mossy versus Hickman for second place. Bridewell pulling away in fourth. Shaky Byrne with Michael Laverty for company. And look at the abandon with which that man is racing.
Yeah, Brooks breaks the 26.911 his last lap, and that's why he's eking out that gap up to probably, what, a second and a half now. Oh, yeah, good move by Hickman. That's a difficult place to do that. It's a difficult place to actually go past and keep.
Mossy retaliates.
No, he's going
straight on. Oh, and Luke will have to wait until Hickey's gone past before he can rejoin the fray, which he does.
Yeah, good presence of mind there. He can't, without getting a penalty, gain a place. He's dropped yeah, Luke Mossy couldn't gain a place there, but he didn't want to drop any places either, so he got a slot in behind the rider that was behind when he went into that set of ends.
So the very glamorously decorated Quattro Plant Tech Care Kawasaki number 12, Luke Mossy. Look at the style of the boy, downhill out of barn. It's a surprising drop out of barn down to the main straight, just ahead of Tommy Bridewell's Tyco BMW.
Yeah, what Luke Mossy's got to do now is settle down. He made the mistake of actually biting back at Peter Hickman immediately, trying to get him straight back. And that kind of, it flustered him, he went straight on. Now he'll be just having to just kind of chill a little bit and just get his thoughts back. It's easy to make a mistake and make another one straight away because you're rushing.
So the lad who finished 7th overall in the British Super Sport Championship last year on the Tech Care Profile Triumph, 8 podium finishes, running strongly in 3rd place, but he's got to deal with Tommy Bridewell, Shaky Byrne and Michael Laverty. Then the gap behind Richard Cooper, still fending off the aggressive rostrum finisher from race 1, Billy McConnell. Checking back downfield, incidentally, I think we've lost Yuichi Kianari. Kianari's gone. I think he's pulled over on the build-based BMW. He's had a rather troubled weekend, and there is the parked-up build-based BMW. And that really is the end of any chance, that outside chance that Kio might have had of making the showdown. Yeah,
that's definitely a park corner, because that was the bottom of the crane that our camera's on, 200 feet up above park corner.
Mossy still there in 3rd place, being henpecked by Bridewell in 4th. And as they howl across the line, Tommy's almost got the BMW alongside him into Coppet. He does make that move into Coppet. He's threatened that a couple of times. This time, he makes it stick like a plaster, and he's through into 3rd place.
Yeah, good move. He was actually setting that up. He knew what he was going to do. He was fairly committed, and you've got to be around here. Big fast corner is Coppet. Lovely, lovely corner. It's always a corner that you go around, even when you're right on the pace. It's one that you feel it could have gone quicker, always are. The camber kind of catches you as you go up. You can't let it run too wide because you've got to get it back across to the left to get a good entry into Charlie's 1.
And you're surging up there at something like 120 miles an hour in 4th gear, James. It is a rattling quick bend.
Yeah, when it goes wrong, it feels like every one of those 120 miles an hour.
There's the possible, at this moment, this is how the championship stands. 316 points for Brooks, 275 Byrne. And notice Tommy Bridewell edging past Stuart Easton. Michael Laverty closing the gap on the little Scotsman, who hopes, of course, to be back fit again at Oulton Park in 2 weeks.
And every lap Brooks is 2, 3, 4 tenths quicker than anybody else. He's not putting seconds at a time into people, but he's sneaking off surely and every single lap.
James Ellison was emphasising how very physical this track is, James.
Yeah.
There doesn't look to be a moment's respite at any point.
Isn't. You used to get a little bit of a rest. Last time I raced about around here, I had about 750 superbike and I had about 140 brake horsepower. You got a little bits of rest, but it was still fairly frantic and physical still. These days, I mean, I instruct around here on a 1 litre sports bike, which is about 20 brake horse less than these bikes at about 180. Like now, you know, Charlie's has Billy McConnell slices underneath Richie Cooper, but you see him down the straight, you get the bike going over that crest. These things are wheeling now. They will stand on the back wheel. You can't start to stop for park corner until the front wheel touches the floor. And it's all happening really, really quick. There's no rest around here now.
And the wind, Jeff Crust was saying that the wind direction changing today and blowing them down the straight.
Yeah,
that's great. He says that was Taz Mackenzie's problem when he got blown. He kind of allowed himself to get blown. It was even blew Jack Kennedy into Park Curve in warm-up this morning.
Yeah, it is a fact that you need a little bit more time to stop when you've got a tailwind into park as a headwind. That's obvious. I mean, that is obvious. It happens everywhere. You get a tailwind, it's going to push you in. Oh, lovely. But Taz did come out with 3 or 4 different excuses, and if somebody's coming out with more than one excuse, you know they're clutching at straws. Good old Taz.
Josh Brooks leads the way through the hairpin. Hickman second. Bridewell in third place. Fourth place Mossy ahead of Byrne and Laverty. Laverty doesn't obviously he's riding as fast as he can, Michael Laverty, the former British Super Sport champion, number 7, but he just looks as if he's quite happy to just calmly ride. He's getting the points that he needs.
Yeah.
This is the next load. This is McConnell leading Cooper. Buchan seems to have revived James. He must have worked his way into that discomfort. Perhaps it's the adrenaline that's masking the problems.
Yeah, it is amazing what injuries you can ride with sometimes. A little bit of adrenaline kind of calms everything down. You don't feel as much pain. You're concentrating on what you're doing, not on how much pain you're in at times. But yeah, he's certainly the force he was in race 1 before the crash, obviously.
And Danny, there is the red and white Bale-based BMW with the black letters of Richard Cooper just in front of the a lad who's twice as big as he is, at least, Danny Buchan.
Everybody's twice as big as Richard Cooper.
And just behind them, that's Westmoreland, Linfoot and Jackson nailed together with Christian. Where's Christian Hidden's dropped to 16th. So Christian Hidden, having made his way through, I don't know whether he's had a moment. His last lap was 1:30.6, James. Hidden's had a big moment, and he's dropped from inside the top 10 back to 16th. That's indicative of the sheer pace and competitiveness of the field.
Yeah, of course, yeah. This is such a tight field. We keep saying it, but it continues to be the truth. You know, Bridewell getting fairly frisky with number 60, Peter Hickman there. Certainly, if anybody can make a pass, it's Bridewell. Bridewell is one of the riders that will have a bit of a go. If there's a chance of a second instead of a third, he'll be taking it.
We're on to the 12th lap of the second race, 18-lap race, British Superbikes, the MC Insurance British Superbikes in association with Pirelli here at the Party in the Park, Cadwell Park. The clouds have come over a little, but really we've been blessed with the weather. Oh, so much of the rest of the country suffering. And that was a momentary attempt by Tommy Bridewell, but he was outbraked by Big Hickman at the end of the straight.
He was, but he thought better of it, you know, and backed off. Good move that from Bridewell. Didn't cause any of them any problems.
Diving down the gooseneck. Hickman still has that advantage. Shaky Byrne is still sitting in beside Luke Mossy. Hasn't been able to make a real move on him as yet as they dive down towards the little chicane after Mansfield. Oh, and down goes to Michael Laverty.
Yeah.
There I was thinking he was calmly sitting there comfortably in 6th place, and the Ulsterman's made a very rare mistake.
Yeah, he's lost the front on the left. He's annoyed with himself. But again, it's easy to do. You don't have to do too much wrong. Comes in, flicks it left. Clip the curb.
Clip the curb.
Clip the curb. Yeah. Like I said before, you're trying to use every piece of this Cadwell track that you can, because there isn't much of it. It's very narrow. And yeah, he's clipped the curb.
So that means that it's a battle of two. Shaky Byrne looks as if he'd almost got round the outside there of Luke Mossy as they streaked through Coppice and into Charlie's one.
He may have. No, he's not.
As they come, no, Mossy's still there, and here comes Bridewell. He tried it last time. This time he pulls it very neatly.
It is Byrne in front of Mossy. That is Byrne there, and Mossy back riding in shot.
So Mossy back to 5th place. Or Shaky Byrne. That was quite a move by Shaky, James. He took the long way round at Coppice, and it worked to his advantage into Charlie's.
Oh, he's wide of the goose now. It's going to cost him the place back, I'm sure.
Not quite.
No, he was lucky to get away with that. So wide. Indication of just how hard Shane Byrne's trying.
So he's through now into 4th place. There is the race leader, Brooks. 2nd and 3rd place men is now Bridewell and Hickman. And the 4th and 5th place men now Byrne and Mossy. McConnell running in 6th, elevated to 6th place. Buchan, Cooper, Westmoreland, Linfoot in his battle with his close pal Westmoreland now moves into the top 10.
Well,
And
number 46, Bridewell there. We'll see if this second place will make him smile, because nothing seemed to be making him smile after race. Well, really, really disappointed. He felt that they should have been the best BMW. They are, after all, if you can call it a factory squad in BSB with the rules such that they are. They see themselves as the top, or should be the top BMW squad. And he was disappointed not to be. Maybe this will make him smile on his way back to devisers.
the thunderous noise that's just made our commentary booth shake was John Hopkins in 15th place, hurtling along the start and finish straight, just ahead of Chris Walker and Howie Main wearing smart. So it's Hopkins at the moment who has the last championship point in 15th.
I tell you what, we've done really well with the weather this weekend, Jack, because as you know, I'm a pilot, so I know a little bit about the weather. They taught us everything, you know, in doing our test. It doesn't work at all. But I have got a 79p app on my phone, and I can tell you that the weather is coming. And when it starts to rain, it's going to be heavy rain. It's not going to be a bit of drizzle, but I think we're going to get away with it.
Do you know, James, have you got your coat with you down here? I haven't.
No, I didn't bring me coat or my Gansey.
It could be I hope it's not a very, very wet end to our racing day. Oh, dear.
It doesn't matter.
I'm slipping downhill.
When you're getting racing like this and it's going to stay dry for the duration of the racing.
You said that Shaky Byrne was on the limit and he's reining these guys in. Look at him. He's finding something. The reigning champion never can be discounted.
He never gives up.
Brad's very interested in this because he's got £2 on Shaky not getting in onto the rostrum. And he's beginning to sweat in the back of our comms box here.
Yeah.
Because Shaky, as we go on to the 15th of 18 laps, Shaky is beginning to pull them in. He was about 0.3 of a second quicker on that lap in 4th place.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
We've lost Aaron Zanotti, number 64. He's retired to the pits on the A-Plant Yamaha. Meanwhile, with just about 3.5 laps to go, this is the fight going on. Hickman is still threatening Tommy Bridewell. He wants that second place back. He got the second in the first race, and he wants the RAF Reserves BMW in second in the second race.
Yeah, meanwhile, Brooks is over 5 seconds up the road. There he is. That's a big gap here. That is such a gap for the championship being as tight as it is.
He is, of course, the lone Milwaukee Yamaha. Brock Park's not here this weekend. Cooper in 7th, ahead of Buchanan and Westmoreland. Lidfoot in 10th, leaving Jackson, Jessup, Eden back into points.
It's just how close Shane Byrne is. You might be able to hear him actually down into the hairpin. You can sometimes hear riders behind. You can hear the chain chattering, and sometimes you can hear a little bit of engine noise as well.
This track demands, dare I say, to state the absolute obvious, James, how accurate they have to be pinning apexes on these tight turns.
It's just because it's so narrow. You've got to be accurate. And even then, it's all about damage management. You're making little mistakes all the time. You're getting little slides all the time. The bike's backing in sometimes. And you've just got to manage them and still be as accurate as you can.
And we're going up to back markers. Ralph Laturco, there he is, the man from, well, he's London-based, the 40-year-old Brazilian, in very bright Brazilian colours. And he's got passed by number 25, Josh Brooks.
Yeah, Hickman's waiting for a mistake now from Bridewell. He's pushing him a little bit, showing him a wheel here and there, but not had a serious attack at him yet. But with 2.5 to go, so maybe he's biding his time a little bit.
The tall former plasterer, there he is, as he drops downhill right behind Tommy Bridewell. As it stands, Tommy Bridewell would be just 2 points behind James Ellison in the standings if he could hold on to this second place. James Ellison, of course, returning to action at Alton Park in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, more importantly, Bridewell would be scoring either 3 or 1, depends where he finishes in this little battle, podium points for when they do go into the showdown. Because I feel that both Bridewell and Ellison will be in the showdown.
So the podium, but you're right, because James Ellison is still well clear on 19 podium points. Yep. Well ahead behind, obviously, that man, Shaky Byrne and Josh Brooks, but well ahead of everybody else. On the 17th lap of 18 then, on to the penultimate lap. Josh Brooks with a 5.8-second lead, lapping at 127.5. James, he's still lapping about 4/10 quicker than everybody else.
Yeah, and I can tell you that time for him, even though he's quicker than everybody else, is fairly conservative at this pace. He'll know what he has to do and not be taking any risks. The bike's perfect, and he'll be really enjoying this. Why wouldn't you? Cadwell's brilliant if you've got a little bit of time. You know, do a track day here and go at your own pace. Absolutely fantastic, the best circuit in the country. To have to go at lap record pace on these things, quite scary, and it probably takes most of the enjoyment out.
Well, these two certainly seem to be having just thoroughly enjoying themselves, but they're building up now. There's only a lap and a half to go. Tommy Bridewell got mugged on the final lap of race 1 by Billy McConnell, who's currently running 6th.
I don't think that Peter Hickman will be prepared. No, they can't, but I don't think he'll be as prepared as Billy McConnell to kind of have a lash here. He's had a good day already as Peter Hickman and the team. Despite being pretty bashed about after yesterday's big crash. Yeah, but a rostrum, a second in BSP is brilliant for him, and a third would be good. I'm sure he'll be thinking that. Maybe not what you want to hear, but, you know, I'd be surprised, unless Bridewell made a mistake, if Hickman will do anything silly. And almost a victory wheelie for with a lap to go for Josh Brooks as he whistles across the line on the Milwaukee Yamaha. And look how far, you've got to say the Tyco BMW can pull a pretty shed load of time out of Hickman along the straight. No, it's fast, but Hickman's bike won't be any slower. I don't think it's a BMW. We know that they're about the fastest thing on the track as far as top speed and power. We'll look at Hickman, he's right behind him now. Look at the back of the short, just into the dip. He hasn't left himself a bit too much to make up, though. He didn't quite have him close enough. He lost a bit on the actual exit to Charlie's 2. So Shaky Burn not able to close the gap at the moment. Go on, Peter Hickman. Prove me wrong. I want him to. Come on, Hickey. the 28-year-old then run from just up the road here in Louth. Peter Hickman running in same lanes. He's thinking about his move down there. In the back. He can't stop it. Can he stop it? He can't stop it. He's done that before. He does stop it. He holds his line. He squeezes Bridewell as they go through the chicane. Peter Hickman, yes, proving wrong. Yes. The man on my right-hand side, Mr. James Whittam, dives into the left-hander at the foot of the mountain. Up the sharp 1 in 3 hill climb. Across the mountain top. Oof, almost loses the rear end on the white line. Watch Bridewell now. Bridewell's going to have a go into the hairpin. I feel sure Bridewell is going to have a go, if he can, into the hairpin, which is just behind with... No. And this is going to be the 26th British Superbike race win of his career for Josh Brooks. He crosses the line to win again for Milwaukee Yamaha. 6 on the trot. 2nd place does go to Hickman. 3rd, Tommy Bridewell. 4th place, Shaky Burn. 5th place, an excellent 5th for Luke Mossey. And joy all right for Ola, Amy and Sean Muir. And there should be some delight here as well for the Tyco BMW camp. And Josh Brooks. That's Hopkins. Oh, it's Hopkins. Yeah. And that's at the old hairpin. He's gone down, has he? Something's happened. No, he's not the only one. Main-wearing Smart. I think Main-wearing Smart was running just behind him. So a burnout for Brooks on the grass. That's not as impressive, but then again, he didn't want to do what he did at Thruxton and throw it down the road on the tarmac after the finish. So congratulations then to Josh Brooks. What a superb ride by him. Echoing the superlative qualities of his 1980s hero, Ricky Two-Hip Johnson, whose replica helmet he's riding with this weekend. The Milwaukee, that's Richard Stevens at Richard. What a terrific ride by him. And we've got... That's Hopkins. That's Hopkins, and I'm sure this is the incident. Hopkins and Main-wearing Smart, and is that into the... Where is that? That's a hairpin. And I think poor Hopper's, who's already a bit sore from a crash yesterday, has been collected by Howie on the way into the hairpin. That's what it looks like to me. Because Hopper was running in 15th in the final points place, so he'll be a bit frustrated by that. The Lloyd's British... the Motor Rapido Ducati goes out. Shaky Burns celebrates the fact that he's finished in 4th place after what had until then been a disappointing weekend. But terrific ride there by Josh Brooks. He receives the generous applause of the people who are enjoying that spot just under the trees on the approach to the mountain. Why not? Pillion ride back for Michael Laverty from Billy McConnell.
Billy testing the strength of his thighs by standing up on the back of the tank.
Yeah, it's difficult. You've only one set of foot pegs, that's the thing. Where you sit's not a problem. You can sit on the